let's turn our attention to the defense. So they gave up a total of 141 yards to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown. 68 of them were on the first drive. When I was watching that first drive, I was like, oh, this isn't good. And then the defense did kind of what I thought they would. What was your takeaway from the defense?
So the first drive, you sit there, and it felt like the Browns were getting pushed around. But then you actually look at the numbers, and it was like they were just able to get enough to keep the sticks moving over and over and over, and they worked their way down the field. And I'm sure Jim Schwartz is irritated at the red zone efficiency. This is something that he has harped on for years with this team. It was a big problem last year, and they got into the red zone twice. Those first two drives were able to come away with touchdowns. That's got to irritate him, because if they come away with field goals, we're talking about a victory. Having said that, the defense is clearly not the reason the Browns lost this game, and they were the reason they were in it. They were great. It took them a little while to sort of wrest control, but once they figured out what they were doing, they found their comfort, and just from the line of scrimmage to just taking control and putting it into a situation where the Bengals started the game trying to limit Joe Burrow's exposure, to then by the end of the game, it was Joe Burrow has to win this thing for us, and he couldn't do it. They just were pinning their ears back. They got plays from all levels of the defense. You came into this game going, most everybody was talking about, oh man, these corners, how are the Browns going to survive with this corner situation? It was never an issue at the game at all. Like, you never thought about it other than they were making plays or limiting damage. So in that sense, it did everything that sort of you were hoping this defense could do. You wanted to see the big pass rush. You saw it. And the other thing that sort of jumped out to me was just, I've been waiting for it. Isaiah McGuire was outstanding. He had 5 pressures. He had 1 sack. He was still good on run defense. Like, he was everything that they need him to be, that they're hoping this guy can be. And if he can continue to play like this, if this is who he is now, and we'll see, it was 1 week, we're going to be talking about signing him to a lucrative contract extension and talking about him as that long sought after young player that can be the other guy with Myles Garrett.
What do you think of Newsome? I guess the best thing there was, the one where it was called for interference, but for the most part, Higgins and Chase, they aren't the reason you lost. The turnovers are the reason you lost.
Right. I don't fault him for the DPI at all. He's in position. He's trying to make a play, and stuff happens at that point. Overall, look, 1 game. Greg Newsome has a ton of familiarity with the Bengals. He's had success with the Bengals, so this wasn't terribly surprising to me. But for a guy where he knew the spotlight was on him, he wanted this opportunity to be back on the outside, to sort of get a chance to prove that he's, one, a starting outside cornerback in this league and somebody who wants to make a whole lot of money. He came out and played at a really high level. Not only was it just him playing coverage effectively, there were plays where he just looked really smart. Coming off coverage on 1 play to make a stop on Noah Fant, where he didn't break up the pass or anything, but he just limited the damage and made the key tackle. This is exactly the guy you thought you were getting when you drafted him. And everybody in 2021, when he was initially drafted, was talking about Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome for 10 years as your corner tandem. Again, the Browns have historically played the Bengals really well. But if this is who Greg Newsome's going to be, then it's easy to talk yourself into this should be the pairing that goes forward for quite a while.